Welcome back to Dads, Deals, and Dumbbells, the podcast where dad life meets business hustle and barbells.
We're two dads, one chiropractor, one lawyer, balancing families, fitness, building businesses without losing our minds or our gains.
And whether you're raising toddlers or mentoring grown children, like our guest is today, you're running payroll, running sprints, whatever it is, we've got some real talk for you, dad hacks, and some unfiltered takes as well.
Today, we've got a guest who's flipped some classrooms and candles into companies, including a brand new one that is unique to date night. Maybe your significant other might love it just as much as they love you and make you even smell better, all at the same time. So let's get into it.
Mitch, let's talk some wins and fails for this last week.
I got two gym wins.
Okay, let's go.
Or one gym win, one gym fail. So over the week, or past couple weeks, I've been liking to do some like split leg, like Bulgarian split squats.
That looks terrible.
Oh, they're so fun.
I don't have that strength.
They're fun and they're good for you. But I'm also super lazy, and like the easiest way to do it would be doing it with dumbbells. So like your balance and center of gravity is a little bit low. I'm lazy and don't want to like hold the heavy dumbbells.
Yeah.
So I'd put a barbell on my back, and I got up to 225. So I was very happy. So like
doing
245, doing a split squat.
Oh,
very happy. Felt good. Got 8 reps on each side. I was very happy.
That hurts. That hurts for me to hear that you're doing
Felt good.
That sounds.
I've only stumbled
terrible.
once, and that was like 15 years ago when I did it. But I felt good. Didn't make a fool of myself. But then the gym fail was on Sunday. I was in the middle of doing like heavy 1 minute intervals on the air bike, which sucks.
I hate that thing.
It sucks.
It's the devil.
Yeah, on my fourth one, I was like, should I do 4? Should I do 6? And then at Lifetime, daycare called, like, hey, Henry bit a kid. I'm like, fuck, all right. Well, I guess I'm doing 4 reps instead of 6, and I'm going to have a really long rest break till the next time I do this.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, Henry, what's up? She's like, Jackson was chasing me. I'm like, did you use your words? No. Did you talk to the teacher? No. I'm like, cool. We're trying to teach. Again, he's 3.
He's 3.
So we're trying to teach him, hey, use your words, get a teacher before you bite someone.
Before you take a bite
before
out.
you hit someone. Just 2 things before that, please. You can still bite them. Just after those 2 steps.
Yeah, I remember those days.
So there's the fail, yeah.
I remember those days well.
And then when I asked his sister, who's 6, I was like, Addie, like, what's going on? She was like, yeah, I saw Henry bite him. And I guess they ratted him out. They told the teachers.
His siblings?
Yeah. I'm like, guys.
Man.
You're supposed to be helping. And then Addie goes,
Not
I guess you
family.
can count this as a parenting win because my 6-year-old actually listened. And she goes, well, you told me not to control Henry, so I didn't. I'm like, crap. All right. Like, good, but not at the same time. It was like, apparently they're in the tubes. It's like the tubular playground thing.
Yeah.
And there's no teachers in that. So I was like, Addie, if there's no teachers, you can step in and, hey, Henry, don't bite someone.
Opposed to selling your brother out.
Yeah. Like, come on, snitches. Come on.
All right. He's
What
going to
about you?
get bigger than they are at some point.
He's
so.
already as big as Ellie.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
Wins and fails last week. I will say my win was I did an indoor triathlon on Sunday, but the
Yeah,
win
how'd that
part
go?
was that my son did it with me.
Yeah.
Who's 12.
Who won?
And who won? I won.
Dad still got it. All right.
Dad
cool.
still got it. I mean, if he cared and he tried, he'd be able to beat me. I have no
Yeah.
doubt whatsoever about it. But he doesn't like activities that are challenging for him. Like he likes to come easy, right? And so when it's not something that's easy and he doesn't excel at it, he gets disappointed pretty quickly and he doesn't want to do it. So the fact that he did all 3 events, he didn't quit, was pretty big. And
That's
he
a big
built
step,
there was a 16-year-old kid that did it too, and he had a better final score than that kid did.
Nice.
So yeah, so that was the win. I was proud of him for doing it. You know, I don't know that he wants to do another one. We talked about the reason he did it was because we talked about him doing the kids version of a sprint triathlon in Naperville coming up in the summer. I said, well, before you do that, because you have to train for that because there's more to it. So there's this indoor one where you do 10 minutes of swimming, 30 minutes on a spin bike, and 20 minutes on a treadmill, and you go as far as you want to go, as far and as hard as you want to go. So he did that. It was a good experience for him. And he's thinking about whether or not he wants to train for a bigger one. So that was the win. The fail.
At least the door's open, so that's good.
The door's open, yeah. He didn't hate it.
That's a massive win.
It wasn't easy for him, but he didn't hate it. The fail was on my part, walking out. I had just had this great workout. I'm coming out. It's snowy. Ground's not great. I'm telling, because Jamie went with us to take pictures, and I'm like telling everybody, be careful,
Watch out for the ice.
penguin,
It's really
watch out for
cold.
the ice, da-da-da-da. My dumb ass goes and slips and falls right on my side.
Ooh.
Like I just yard sailed it right down.
Oops.
Yeah. I don't run outside when there's snow and ice, and apparently I can't walk to the parking lot without falling.
Should have got your spikes.
Yeah, well, probably wearing running shoes that have been used for probably far too long, not having much of a tread on the bottom. That's probably my my lack of
your
foresight.
slick tires on an F1 not going to be good.
Yeah. So that wasn't the best plan. So that was my fail for the week. So let's talk a little bit here. We're going to introduce our guest here in just a moment, and we'll get to know a little bit more about him, his businesses, his parenting skills, and a little bit about the boxing ring as well. So let's take a quick break and bring him in.
Sweet.
All right, let's bring in our guest for this week, my friend, my client, Miguel Salinas.
That's right. Thank you, guys.
Also known as Dadzilla, is one of your AKAs.
Man, you know what? I don't even know how I got that name. All I seen one time on my daughter's phone, I'm looking over, and I called her, I texted her, and it said Dadzilla. It's like, oh, that's me.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, there's worse.
At least your
nicknames you could
ringtone's not like
definitely have,
your ringtone's not the Star Wars Death March, right? Or
No.
Yeah, right.
You know, but I think where it comes from is just because she's like, man, there's certain times where you just, you go hard on certain things, like setting the standard. And so I start talking to her about setting the standard, doing X, Y, Z, and then that's I think where she dubbed me Dadzilla. So,
All right.
for that one,
King
I'll
of the
take
Monsters.
There's worse names for sure. You've got 2 adult children. What are their ages?
23 and 22. So Mateo is the oldest. He's 23 years old. And then our daughter, Gabriela, 22 years old. You're literally
23.
a year and a day apart.
Oh,
So like almost Irish twins.
Yeah, 6'19", 6'20".
There you go.
we know you were celebrating 9 months before that. Former educated entrepreneur, couple times over, 3 times over. And as I understand it, possibly the undefeated champ of tacos and pancakes.
Man.
Tell us about some tacos and pancakes.
Listen, I can't do many things good in the kitchen, right? If I start cooking, it can be disastrous, but I stick to 2. Pancakes in the morning,
Yeah.
tacos for lunch. And I've mastered those. I'll put my recipe up against any other grandmother out there, any other father, any other dad. Please, I've mastered both of those. So I remember in the summertime, because I worked as an educator, so we're off in the summer, my wife would work. And during the summer, the kids were like, hey, what's on the menu? So it became an inside joke. I was like, you already know what I'm going to. I'm going back to the well. I'm going to pancakes, and I'm going to tacos.
The classics.
We're not deviating.
Never, because if it's working, it's not broken. Why fix it?
That's
course.
fair. That's fair.
And if they're still asking for it, yeah.
And if they're still asking for it, they were happy with it. But yeah, no, easily my tacos al pastor, hands down, better than
solid.
any grandmother. Yeah, no.
Mm.
And then pancakes, I mean, you
What's
might
the
as well
secret
call
spices on the pork?
on the.
pastor?
Oh no, there's like 16 in there.
Really?
Yeah,
16 spices?
16 different spices. Yeah, I go to the local Fiesta Market, pick them off the shelf,
So it's the
mix
fresh
them
stuff?
in, and then you got to put them on the what's in Spanish is called the trompo, but you got to put them on the spit.
Yeah.
So I got a little
Yeah.
mini spit at
Oh,
the
You got
house.
one at home?
I slice them off of there. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't play with my tacos.
Do
I'm
you
telling
rehydrate
Right.
the? I've made birria before, or birria. Do you rehydrate the peppers at all, or do you get the peppers in there for a
Yeah,
stew?
yeah, you have to.
nice.
You have to. And so you just kind of run it through a process. You can't cheat the process, right? You got to take it step by step. But at the end, the pork comes out like no
Tender.
other.
I
Very tender.
gotta say, you know what I'm hearing right now is I'm hearing the start of a 4th business for you.
Taco truck.
Maybe
You
a
know,
taco truck.
I've always wanted to work in a restaurant. Hands down for
Really?
I don't even know why, but it was since I was younger, I was like, man, it'd be cool to kind of work in the kitchen, be the master cook and serving stuff out to everybody. So for me, yeah, for a while that's something I've always dreamed about.
Taste of Bolingbrook's coming out in what, May?
Yeah.
End of May.
You start your business now, get your
There you
food
go.
truck there.
Launch it there.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Hey, you guys are giving me ideas. My wife might not be happy. But,
As long as it works.
Well, your
As long as it works.
plates are a little full right now. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's talk about some of the wisdom you've learned over the years. We ask our guests to bring to the table a dad hack. Do you have anything for us to share with the other dads out
no
there?
doubt about it. Having worked in the school system for all these different years, my dad hack is focusing on the positive. If you have kids at home, you have to build them up, not tear them down. And so oftentimes what I see in parenting is parents who are tearing down their kids. Like, yeah, hey, we all have things that we need to improve. I'm not going to say ignore the negatives, but let's also focus on what they're doing right, not just what they're doing wrong. And so what happens over time is you see kids who over time have been told they're not good, they're not very smart, they're not very talented, and they're getting broken down. These weren't thoughts in their head. These were thoughts that were put by others in their head. So I think we have to be careful with the language that we use. I think language is powerful. So for me, and especially I think as a dad and as a leader, it's very important with the words that you're choosing with your children, because words carry impact, especially from your father, your mother. You know, I'm not going to go and bash my mom and dad, but there's some things that they didn't do very good that have had an impact on me, right? And there's some things that they did wonderfully. But I would say for me, that was probably the biggest hack, and especially in the school system, because when I worked with students who were struggling, I knew exactly what they needed. They were tired of being kicked, right? Because people literally it's no joke, but people viewed them as a throwaway, like trash.
Yeah.
I'm like, how could you throw away a middle school student? Like, they haven't even fully developed yet. There was some things I did in middle school that you could have tossed me out with them. So I would say, be thoughtful and just, again, look to build and not tear down.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you to Monday morning quarterback something for me from last night.
Let's do it. Yes.
I'm driving home from work. I'm running late because I had a late client meeting, and I get a phone call from my daughter, and she says her car battery's dead. Now, I have been telling her for literally at least a month that her battery is dying and she needs to get it replaced, and you can either go to AutoZone and get it done yourself, or if you want me to help you, I will. I wanted her to see how it's done, so because it's not a super complicated thing to replace a car battery. But I wanted her to learn, right? She's 17. She'll be going away to college in a year and a half, and I wanted to have her prepared. And so she didn't do it, and she didn't drive her car the last few days when it's been super cold out, so the battery was dead. I actually joked with her a couple days ago about the fact that one of these mornings she's going to get up to go to school and drive herself, and her car's not going to work. I'm going to tell her she has to ride the bus. Try to threaten her to get her to off her butt to do it, right? So last night it's dead. And I'm like, all right, well, and she had to go to School of Rock to go have rehearsal for program she's in. So I'm like, all right, we'll have your mom take you and so forth, and so that gets sorted out, which was a chaotic thing in of itself because my wife wanted to send her in her car, and it's the gear shift on it to get into reverse is a flick on the it's different. It's an
electrical one.
It's not electric, but it's a Mercedes, and so it's on a stalk, and it's not intuitive. Like if you've done it, it's not a big deal, but it's not my daughter's gear shift is literally just, push
the old
button,
school.
it's the old school thing. So she's not a big technology fan. So she got hung up on that, and I could hear her getting distressed talking to my wife about it. And I'm like, I will come home, take you, I'll drop you off and come back and pick you up and so forth. So fast forward to when I pick her up, I'm trying to coach her through this about it being a life skill. And as an adult, these are the things that you're going to need to figure out on your own because pretty soon I'm not going to be around, right? Whether you're away at college and you're 3 hours away, I'm not coming to change a car battery.
Yeah, that's right.
So how would you encourage me to have that conversation where I'm telling her this was foreseeable, you screwed up.
How do we build this one up?
How do I build her up? By still enforcing the point of, come on now, let's be an adult.
Well, I would say first thing first, I would say at one time.
Yeah.
So when you initially told her, hey, the car battery is going to die on you, I'm saying it once. That's it. Now, when it does die on you, then you're going to have to deal with the consequences of it dying. But oftentimes as parents, we like to throw lifesavers.
Yeah.
Hey,
Too
it's
often.
going to die. Did you know it's going to die? Oh, they heard you the first time.
Yeah.
But they're not concerned about it yet because they don't have to deal with the immediate consequence of it. So they rather just put it off. Now, in that moment when I'm speaking to her, no, I think you got to let her know, hey, this is a self-inflicted wound. This is something that you did to yourself. And because you did to yourself, now I'm impacted. Not only are you impacted, but now I'm impacted because I'm coming from here, flying over here, thinking about you, and I got this important meeting. So I think those things you still need to lay down with her. And then when she does it, then just let her know, hey, you got it done. Did you figure it out? Now you know how to do the process. Next time it'll be easier.
When I was growing up, if I forgot something at home, it was going to be there. It wasn't being brought to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, my kids forget their lunch at home. I get a phone call. I get a text message. Hey, can you drop my lunch off at school? And because I'm a moron, I do it. And it blew me away the day I went to the high school, and there is a whole shelf there for things that kids forgot the parents are dropping off. And I keep wondering myself, is this a good thing? Like, if there's something critical, it's one thing. But I kind of feel like that's one of those things where if you screwed it up and you forgot your lunch,
you'll survive the day.
You're going to survive the day.
You will survive.
And learn the lesson. And
it won't be comfortable.
You know?
That's it. I mean, how do you learn?
So,
you learn through consequences, either positive or negative.
Yeah.
And if you got that stomach rumbling because you forgot your lunch, you're going to be like, man, that's not going to happen
Don't
to
do
me
next
again.
time.
Nope.
That's it.
Don't do next time.
Yeah, it's true. I think there's been a flip now in education and even in school buildings, right, where I always see parents after the bell, they're flying in and they're bringing in the lunch, the water bottle, the instrument, the this, that, or the other. But what happens when you're not there or you can't do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you got to deal with the real world.
Is there an age where there's a cutoff on that? Is it too early to start that with my 3-year-old, or is 13 the age? Or
Man, I'm so
16?
glad you
I don't
brought
know.
up a 3.
Like, how much of that is like I don't understand. Like, we see kids in our office. I understand there's developmental milestones. I'm not expecting a 3-year-old to be able to drive a car or a 3-month-old to run. Like, but there's certain stages where it's a thing. Like the whole foresight of being able to think a month in advance, or like, hey, if I don't do this now, my car's gonna die.
Yeah, with the planning and organizing and all that stuff in the brain not being fully developed. So what I will say, even at 3, you could still hold your kids accountable for
sure.
3. So like with potty training,
Oh yeah.
right? We're potty training my son. Hilarious story. He's gonna see this. He's gonna enjoy it. This is what
Showed
he did.
on his wedding.
So he's going, and Mateo loved. We're potty training him. This dude would pull his underwear down,
Yeah.
and he just let it rip all over. And I'm like, what in the world
fire
are
hose.
you doing? Like, I'm ducking out of the way. I'm like, dude. But this was the last day he did it. I told him, hey, you peed on the floor? I said, let's go get some paper towels. You're going to pick this up.
Yep.
Yes.
And I kid you
Yes.
not, that day
Never did
he
it again.
went, he cleaned it up.
Yeah.
He threw it out in the trash. He never did it again. That was it. And so since then, like, I think it was really around like his 3-year-old birthday. Then he was potty trained because he was like, oh, this is not fun no more. Wait, I got to clean this up.
That lesson, it works not just with peeing on the floor. That lesson works with everything.
Oh yeah, my kids, I'll hand them something, they'll just drop it on, like, whatever's in their hand, they'll just drop it and go like,
Yeah.
who's gonna pick this up?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
I'm sorry.
We have,
I'm not touching this.
with the snow and ice, I had salted the driveway, heavily salted the driveway. And kids are walking in yesterday, and they have salt on the bottom of their shoes. And we take our shoes off generally and walk in the house, right? Well, they're running late, and they didn't take the shoes off. They run into the kitchen. They run back out. They leave a trail of water and salt, right? And we had just had the floors clean. Clean, they had just come.
Of course.
So the floors don't look great. What the kids don't know is that they're going to be mopping the floors later tonight when I have more free time, because I didn't have free time last night.
No.
They're going to be mopping them, and they're going to understand the reason why they're mopping them is because of their lack of foresight and
Of course.
seeing the problem.
Do it. I might do that now with my kids.
Oh, it's
a good one.
worthwhile, 100%.
Because they'll do that too. They'll run, let out the puppies, because we just got a new puppy who's as big as our 12-year-old dog now. But then they'll truck all the snow through, and I'm like, all right, let them out. Or I'll make them clean it up. That's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, Miguel, let's talk a little about your origin story here. Grew up in Little Village, Chicago.
That's it. Yeah, parents, Mexican immigrants, came to the United States from Mexico probably around kindergarten. And so, oftentimes people think like, oh, you must have spoke Spanish at home. I was like, not really, because parents grew up in the United States, so we spoke English at home. The reason I know Spanish is because my grandmother would take care of us, like either taking us to school in the morning, picking us up after school. And one of the things she always mentioned, like, hey, if you want to eat in this house, you're going to have to speak Spanish.
Ooh,
so what did I
like
do?
it.
I ate because I spoke Spanish. You
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean? So I think those were the pieces. Yeah, Little Village, I think, was an interesting community back then, right?
Yeah.
There's walking from point A to point B, which was school. I went to a Catholic elementary. Well, first I went to one that closed. It was called St. Labilla off of Albany 24th, and I went to Blessed Agnes, and that's what it was called. So at Blessed Agnes, walking from point A to point B, used to pass 3 bars in the morning, and they were open for business. As
like a
you're
third
walking
shift
to
bar?
school. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So I remember walking with my grandmother, and there used to be grown men laid out on the street, on the sidewalk, and we're going around them. It's like Frogger or something. Like we're
Hopscotch.
jumping around, and
Jeez.
and I used to ask my
Joe
grandmother,
Wills guy.
like, what is up with this guy? Like, why is he here? You know, as a kid, you're not really understanding. You just see him
Sure.
laid out on the floor. But I think that had an impact on me. Like, I learned a lot from it. You know, I learned about some of these things in neighborhoods and how they influence, how they hurt, harm, all those pieces. And so I was really observant as a kid. And I think in those types of neighborhoods, sometimes you have to be observant. Even though I had two parents, we were insulated, they cared for us. There's certain things they couldn't keep from us. You know, there's certain things that in the neighborhood you were exposed to at a young age,
Yeah,
right?
they can't go
Like,
to school with you.
They can't go to school
Right.
with you, you know. Unfortunately, like I seen somebody get shot when I was like 10 right
Really?
in front of me. And it was like those type of things that you're like, oh, man. So for me, it was important when I became a dad. I was like, hey, I want to make sure I kind of keep my kids from this. I want them just to focus on the regular kid stuff, not have to do all this other stuff. But I would say, like, all those things impacted me can impact you in a negative way, right? But I think the positive is I just became more focused, more driven, like I wanted more, you know? And so that's why I think I picked a helping field like school psychology, because I understood, like, hey, kids need help. When you grow up in neighborhoods like this or in any neighborhood, kids are going to need help. They're going to need support.
And so we probably should have said that before you gave all your dad hack advice, because given your background, it's not just as a dad, but it's as a professional too,
Yeah.
right? So for those listening, just not some random guy.
Right. Just giving random knowledge. No. I think some of it
Well
is
qualified.
it's the school of hard knocks, right? Learning through experience. But then I think it's the other part. Now you're learning through the books and what the books say, and how can I apply that to, you know, what we're doing. So yeah, that was my origin story. You had to be tough, just because even if you weren't, you had to pretend you were tough. So anyone who grew up there, you kind of have that fake tough walk, because if you don't have it, they're like,
You're
there's
prey.
a target. Yeah, you're prey.
Yeah, but
Predator prey, predator
your,
prey.
Your toughness, though, didn't just come from where you grew up. You actually also picked an activity in high school that's rather unconventional for most high school students.
Yeah, I love boxing. My grandfather, he was one that I would sit there with him and I could watch like 3 hours in kindergarten with him just of boxing. And he would just talk to me about what they were doing, the moves they were making. And so as a kid, I was just in love with the sport. I was like, man, this is amazing. I from going back to like boxers like Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, before then Roberto Duran, Jack Johnson, Muhammad Ali, all these different guys. I just loved knowing about them, knowing about their stories. So in high school, at Marist High School, it was my junior year. And Mr. Bill Carso, that was his name. He was the boxing coach. He was a Minnesotan Golden Gloves boxer. He was teaching history at our school. And they said, hey, there's rumblings coming. Boxing's coming to Marist. And I'm like, no way this is really happening. So first day auditorium is filled with students who are interested. And then they found out, oh, wait, you're going to get punched in the face. Maybe I
Was like, how
don't
many
want to do
stayed?
this.
How many stayed?
So then at the end, literally only 24 stayed.
Oh, well, that's not bad though.
That's still not bad.
How
yeah.
many is it by weight? Is it by weight classes, right?
That's it.
How many weight classes?
So there was back then it was like lightweight. We had a couple lightweight matches, couple middleweight matches, light heavyweight, and they were kind of all spread across.
It's like four
Yeah.
classes basically, but
Yeah.
multiple fighters in each class.
That's it.
That's not bad then.
That's
six per class.
Yeah, and you had an opportunity to spar. And
Yeah.
so, like, for me, it was just interesting. Like, I got in there, and that day, you can't think of anything else but you're going to spar that day. So your heart all day is just like boom, 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 boom. You're like, oh, my God, I'm going to get in there. And then my first time getting in there, coach is like, hey, you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to be
I've
the
been
tough
ready.
guy.
Come on
I've
now.
been ready, coach. Like, I was born ready. And then he's like, hey, we're only going to do jabs. No right hands, just jabs. So just block the jab. No problem, coach. The kid throws the right hand, nails me right in the nose. And you see the size of this nose, man. It's a big target. He nails me. And I'm like, what in the hell happened there? I thought
Did
it
you
was only
right-handed back?
jabs. And so then the coach said, hey, protect yourself. I'm like, all right, no problem. So we go. And so I feinted a jab, right? Because you feint to kind of see if someone's going to move.
Yep. And see where they move to.
Where they moved to, but he didn't move. So that means, A, he doesn't know the distance. He can't judge it. So then the next one, I threw everything into that jab. It hits him square in the face. He goes back, and then I start to see blood coming down. So then the next one, I hit him another one. At that point, coach is like, hey, that's it. You pick up your blood And this was a kind of a popular kid in school. He's a football guy, so everybody knew him. Next day, we got class together. He's a couple seats down. They're like, hey, I heard you kick someone's ass in sparring yesterday, and he's right there, and I felt bad. I was like, well, I didn't kick his ass, but I made him bleed.
Yeah.
And then that was it. So, yeah, I loved it. But I learned so much in boxing, and I learned so much from the coach because one day, coach is like, hey, Miguel, you're going to spar. And I'm like, oh, got that guy. You're going to go against him. And I was like, that guy? I mean, do you see the size of him? In my mind, I'm thinking. I was like, yeah, no problem. So I'm putting the stuff on. We're getting ready. We're going to get ready to spar. And I'm like, man, this guy is like breathing fire through his nose. I'm going to get killed in there.
Was he like 2 weight classes ahead of you?
He's to play defensive tackle.
Oh, shoot.
So he's probably like 265. I'm probably like 195.
Thick.
And then he's like, you guys ready? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be as ready as I'm ever going to be. He says, go. And this kid literally beats me down for 3 minutes. Like straight beat down. I got hit everywhere, the back, the ass, everywhere. At the end, I was like, damn, I barely survived that. But the next day, the coach said to me something powerful. He said, hey, Miguel, what happened? It's like, what an ass question to ask. You know, you're just trying to be rude. I got whooped. He said, nah, you didn't get whooped. He said, you were scared. He said, I seen it in your eyes. I see it in your face. Because of the size of him, you already determined in your mind you were going to lose to him. And that was the best piece of information he could ever give me because I'm like, oh, I did it to myself. I didn't even compete here. And for me, that was the part that stuck with me forever. Like, even to this day, I can still remember him telling me because he was talking to somebody else. But that piece of don't beat yourself. Someone else can beat you if they're better. That's okay. You can compete with someone. If they're better, they're better. But don't beat yourself in this game.
Nice. Well, now, after your boxing career in high school.
1-0 for the record. 1-0, undefeated.
Don't go back and do it again.
Prior to that first day of boxing at Marist, had you actually boxed before?
Nah, just messing with cousins, putting pillows, putting, laundry in the pillows, and then you're throwing punches, and then your knuckle pokes through and hits them in the face. Like, that's it. That's the only
no
boxing
formal gym stuff. Yeah, just our backyard.
No formal gym. So then, learning with the coach, and then in Bolingbrook, I don't know, must have been a couple years ago, maybe like 15 years ago. There's a boxing gym in
Valencia
Boxing, and then I picked it up with him.
Nice.
And then so he was like, hey, you should come out and box. And I was like, oh, I used to box before, but I'm like, dude, I'm a school psychologist. I can't go with my inner lip all busted and my knuckles being beat up.
Not good for branding.
Yeah, right.
Depending on the patient, the client, you might you get some clout.
Yeah, and kids loved it. Kids love it, especially rough and tumble kids. Yeah. They're drawn to that stuff. Yeah,
I'm not sure about the principals that hire you and the people that are in charge of the contracts at the school district. So
no. That's why that's done. That's been laid to rest. Undefeated. I'm good going to bed undefeated.
Super Bowl champ.
Well, nowadays you're the parent of 2 adult children. We mentioned them. You've got one who's a rule follower and one who's a free spirit. Is that how they were growing up too?
Man, to a T. Like my son is like my wife. They're very much by the book. They follow the rules. And there was one day we were living in a townhouse and the kids were playing and we could hear them. And they were saying, hey, why don't you somersault on the sidewalk or whatever, like on the cement? And my son's like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's going to hurt. And then they're like, oh, why not? And they kept pushing him, but he would just say no and he would stick to it. And so for me, I was like, oh, man, that's awesome. Because if you told Mateo, like, hey, I'm going to be back, just sit here, he's not moving.
Yeah.
He's going to follow it to a T. Now, my daughter, if you told her sit here, yeah, she might sit there for 5-10 minutes, and then she's gone and she's running. But one thing that I think I know, I appreciate about both of them, they've kind of done it their way. And that's something as a parent I always respect, that I did it my way. Now it's your turn. You do it the way you see fit. I can be here to support you, but I'm not going to tell you how to do it, and I think that's important because they have to figure it out. At the end, they're living their life. So they have to figure out, hey, what's going to work best for me? And so growing up, my daughter was a little bit more like risky, wanted to jump on the bike and do certain things. And my son was a little bit more cautious and thoughtful. And, hey, I'm not going to do that because I know I'm going to wind up bumping my head. And I'm not trying to bump my head out here.
Now, long before you ever got to that point where they were making their own decisions, there was a deep end moment I understand you had when you were you were acting as a solo parent for a little while. You had a 1-year-old and a newborn.
Oh my God. That day still lives in my brain. It's like etched. It's burning in my brain.
Permanent horror story.
It is, because my daughter was just born. We had my son. And so my son was a year. My daughter's a newborn. And my wife is like, hey, I'm going to run to the store. It's like, oh, it sounds like a bad idea already. Like, I don't think this is going to work.
You can't trust me with these children.
Don't leave me.
And so she's like, don't worry. I'll go 15 minutes. I'm like, 15 minutes? What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing wrong at all.
My son was just there. I was with him, and my daughter was sleeping. No problem.
Easy.
Hey, go ahead. I got this. Want to go for an hour? Go for an hour. Do whatever you want to do. Literally, the minute she closes the door, my daughter's up. She's screaming and yelling. My son's taking off running. I'm trying to grab one, grab the other. At the end, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'm trying to figure it out. You know, Mateo wants to run because he's one, and he's trying to run all over the place, and he's grabbing stuff. And I'm like, hold on, come back here. Let me talk to your daughter for a second. And I'm your daughter, your sister, because she's crying. And, man, I think it was 20 minutes she was gone, but it felt like 2 hours. It was nightmarish. I'm like, man, I'm not equipped for this. And I would say for parents, I think for me at least, the hardest ages was 0 to 1. 1 and above, I enjoyed the playtime because kids learn by playing with dads.
Yeah.
You hit dad in the head, dad's going to tell you, man, that hurts. Like, knock it off. Don't do it again. And then they're like, oh, there's rules to play. That's how kids learn, is in that play and the engagement. So for me, I enjoyed that. But 0 to 1, whew, man, no. That was the hardest time for me, period. End of story. There's no other age.
Really?
Yeah.
I loved it when they were young and they didn't move. I was like,
I mean, if they're sleeping.
You put them down, you walk away,
you leave them in a
come
spot,
back,
they
you're in the
stay in
same
that spot.
place.
It was great. And then once they started rolling and crawling and
You're
walking,
not
I
gonna
was like,
roll away.
shoot.
Not a
Yeah.
chance.
I could put the baby gates up. Yeah, that was rough.
Oh, that's a whole other piece, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you got a bigger house. Like us, we were in a small space, so there's not a lot of places you can run to. But if you got a bigger house, you got stairs. Oh, man.
I was telling the story to somebody yesterday about when my daughter was 2. I'm sitting downstairs on the couch drinking a cup of coffee in the morning. It's like a Saturday or something. And all of a sudden, I hear her little voice, and she's coming down the stairs. And she was coming down the stairs at this point. It was okay. Well, she decided to topple down the stairs, and she was all right. She's crying, you know. Kids, they're kind of bouncy. And I'm like, you'll be fine. Well, the afternoon, she still was complaining about her arm, so we took her to the hospital. And my wife stays in the the patient room while I take her in to have her X-rayed. And I'm getting a 3rd degree by the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
How'd your daughter fall? How'd she fall? Like, she fell down the stairs? Sure, she did.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah, so they're more mobile then.
Was it broken? Was it dislocated?
It was broken.
Yeah.
It was a compression fracture. It was fine. She was all right.
Yeah,
it was all right. But anyway, I was traumatized by the incident, thinking somebody thought I was abusing my child.
I was that kid for a while too.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the button here on the camera as we keep going into segment 2 here of the interview. All right, Miguel, let's jump into the entrepreneurial angle here. As a man of multiple companies, let's talk about them. Let's save the newest one for last because that one's very different, very exciting. But you've got a couple different companies, so tell us about them.
Yeah, so I'll start with the first one, Salinas Educational Services. So I've been a school psychologist since, I think I'm almost on like 2 decades. And I've worked in a lot of different settings, a lot of different places. But when you work in education, you get to the point of no return. Once you get to like that 10-year mark and you're in a district, if you were to move to another district, you're not going to take your years and experience with you. So then you can get penalized. You're going to lose some money. So I was at that 10-year mark and I'm like, yeah, this ain't working. This is not working for me. And out of, what do they say? Out of innovation is born out of desperation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's literally what happened. Because for a year, we're gonna send our kids to Montini in Lombard, right? And it's a private high school, and we're thinking about tuition and how we're gonna pay it. And for a while, I've always worked hard. So I used to work at here in the community, and then after hours, I would work with what was the name of it? The Heart Organization, which was an at-risk youth program for kids who got caught in the community for doing misdemeanor level stuff. And that was every Tuesday and then every other Friday. So I was used to working hard. For me, that wasn't the issue. And so then I was like, man, I got to do something because running the numbers, just the basic numbers, this check is not going to be able to pay for that high school.
Yep.
Like, there is no way about it. So then I was like, okay, maybe I can do something independently. And so it was around that time where I seen a staffing company had sent me an email. And I was like, what is this staffing company about? I looked at it, and they were throwing some outrageous numbers. And I'm like, wait, I can get those numbers? When my number's saying I'm, let's say whatever, 79,000. They're saying, no, you can at least be at 90-something. And so I started doing some investigating. One thing I love to do, I love to learn something and then apply it.
Mm-hmm.
So then the first thing I did was I started looking at, different staffing agencies, and I started finding out information. I went on a couple interviews, spoke to a couple districts. I started learning what the leaders are asking. So I was like, man, I was doing my own education. They didn't know.
No.
I was just out here doing my thing.
You were doing your market research.
That's it. And so I
Smart.
went undercover, found out exactly the questions they're asking. I found out all of their pain points. And then I knew, working in a school, what my pain points were. So if I opened up a place, I'm going to ensure that we take care of our people and we do it in this way. So I told my wife, I said, man, we got to do this. We have to do this. And she's like, yes, but if it fails, you're willing to go back to a school and work. I said, of course. Done deal.
What choice would I have?
Right.
Done.
I was like, I'm doing it. We're going. It's over. And so literally it was the COVID year. COVID years when I left to go independent, which was probably the worst year to leave.
And building up to that, were you on your own, like on the side?
No.
Or was that you just kind of cold turkey started?
Cold turkey. I said, you know what? Well, like a year prior to, I did work for an agency.
Okay.
And I pitched it to them. Hey, this district doesn't have anybody. Could you hold the student back? Let me come in after school hours, do an evaluation, write the report that night, turn it into you, and then I get paid. And then they gave me a flat rate, one of the worst rates. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Where do I sign? I was like, yes, that's perfect money. How much you want it? Yes. I signed
not
it.
zero? All right.
Yeah. So I was excited. I was ready to go. And then that was the year where I met a director. And she was like, Miguel, do you know how much this company's making off of you? I said, nah. I said, I really don't care because it's going to cover what I needed to cover.
Yeah, it's less than I have now. So.
That's
or it's
it.
more than I have now, which is nothing.
But when she told me, I was like, I could do this myself. I'm already going to work hard.
Big light bulb
There's no
moment.
cap. Yeah.
So you saw the opportunity.
That's it. And it just grew from there. So literally it was COVID year. It was, I think I resigned from the school like in October. And I just started I didn't have any contracts. I said, I'm going to figure it out.
So
it was October, and then COVID happened-ish
In
the
March.
following March. Yeah.
That's
okay.
it.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
So let me ask you this, because you kind of started this similar to what I did. Mitch's entrepreneur background's a little different because they bought a practice, which comes with its own challenges, but they bought an existing book of business. You're leaving security and a paycheck, and you're going out for this business that you're wanting to start. You know how to do it, but the business part is brand new, and you have no clients. When you had this conversation with your wife, did you give yourself like a due date, a dollar amount? What was your measure to know, okay, I'm going to have to go back and get a job? How much?
I consider like a runway. I have like this much
Yeah.
this much time before
Yeah,
I
yeah,
need
yeah.
to really take off or I'm screwed.
Yeah. I mean, there was no backup plan. So there wasn't, in my mind, there was no other exit. I said, if this year that I leave, if I don't make more than I made at the school district, then I'm going back.
So you gave yourself
it
1
about-
year.
About
That's
12
it.
months.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it. Well, less because you're in a school year. So
Right.
you're really talking from
Right, right.
September till, well, for us, it was March because that's when everything closed.
And in your old position, you were paid over 12 months, not just the 9. You were working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I was able to do the bilingual assessments for the district. So I was making an additional extra on top, like a little bit of cream and the coffee.
Extra vertical on that.
That's it.
All right. So you pull that trigger, you go out, you start working on getting clients, contracts.
And I started connecting to my network. I started hitting people I know. So there's a mentor that I have. I asked him, I said, hey, I'm going to go independent. If you know anyone, if you're still connected in certain communities, if you can connect me. He said, yeah, Miguel, no problem. Boom. He connects me with one. And I just go and meet with the district. At that point, I'm still not sure on the pricing and what I'm going to get paid, what are the margins. But I was like, hey, if I get this much from this district, and I was going to be good with it. Because then it's just a numbers game. It's like Walmart. Walmart sells their stuff really cheap.
Right.
If you do enough sales,
There's volume at that point.
yeah, it's all volume. And at that point, I was like, hey, I'm doing the work myself because I didn't have anybody else. And so I was just like, all right, let me start working. Then there was a lot of work. And I'm like, oh, I don't have anybody. So I called somebody. So I pitched them in the parking lot. I said, hey, I got some extra work. I know you're still working for a district, but we can kind of figure this out where you can go do some of this work. But I can't pay you until I get paid because I got zero.
Cash flow's an issue.
Yeah. And she was like, Miguel, I've known you for like 10 years. Let's do it. And so for me, she was in. And so once she was in, I was like, man, I could get some money from here. It's coming from here. And then there's something in education that's called a finder's fee. It's kind of similar to like in the housing market, right? Like this school needs a social worker. You have a social worker. You provide them the social worker. They cut you the check. And so I knew enough people and I knew places that needed people. So just on finder fee alone, I was able to rack up like close to $30,000. And so that was another additional layer that I was starting to build. So essentially what happened right before the schools closed, I made more in 5 or 6 months than I would have if I would have stayed the whole school year. And at this point, I was like, man,
Done.
we're not stopping now.
Yeah.
Like now we're going and we're going full steam ahead. And mind you, this is with no logo, like your guys' beautiful logo. I love it. I didn't have a website.
COVID was like pre AI being the thing too.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Are you saying I drew this?
No.
Maybe.
I'm just saying about efficiency of the systems in the office.
Yeah. No, lots changed. Well, let's. Okay, so that's business number one,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's business number two.
Yeah, business number two. So then, the next business we started is called Dynamic Educators First. And we just took the process of what I did, right, being independent and teaching other educators to do it for themselves,
Nice.
kind of walking you from A to Z.
So
Like
this
a
is
coaching thing.
Yeah, this is an
cool.
interesting thing because I have conversations with other professionals all the time about how they get freaked out by competition in the market. And what you're basically doing in business number two is you're creating competition for yourself.
No.
So,
No.
well, no. That's the argument. I'm not saying I buy it,
Okay.
but that's the argument. So what do you say when you ever talk to people that say, hey, why would you teach other people how to do what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I let them know. I said the cream always rises to the top.
Yep.
Right? So if you're delivering quality service, and for me, it always started with the service, how I care for the students, the parents, the teachers, the money was always going to be there. That was going to be the consequence of the service. And so
It's the
because
side
of that,
effect.
that's it.
Yeah.
And I just worked hard. Like, so if I went into a school building and I made a recommendation, I provided the parent the book at the meeting. I say, hey, here's the book for you that I'm referencing. Hey, teacher, you need to know how to do reading and math. Here's a book for you. And then the people in the building were like, wait a minute. Our own people in the building don't do this for our parents or for our teachers. So why are you able to do that? Why do you have better relationships with parents than the own staff in the building? Because I was willing to work. And so for me, I think, yeah, cream always rises to the top. I'm not necessarily worried about what the next person is doing. And to be honest, I really don't have time to worry about what everyone else is doing. I just need to execute on what I'm doing in our own practices. So when we did that, I think that's been an interesting business because I learned so much from it, right? I thought coaching, this is automatic. Everyone's going to want to learn how to do this. Not
so much.
exactly.
Nope.
Yeah, you're like an N of one at that point. You're definitely on the outliers. That like again, if you go from like a W-2 mindset to a entrepreneurial type mindset, not everyone has that.
Oh,
And
no.
I've learned that plenty of times with our own employees. But then, yeah, if you move into the coaching thing where you kind of become the authority too, like everyone knows, like, okay, no one wants to just see an orthopedic surgeon. They want to see the orthopedic surgeon that teaches the other other orthopedic surgeons.
Mm.
So you create yourself as the authority. Like a lot of, Joe and I've had this conversation a couple times before too, where like for lawyers, like having like a coach for a lawyer to teach another lawyer how to run a successful practice, that's not really a thing. But in chiropractic, that's abound. And then some of them, we've had a few. Some are good than others, but sometimes eventually you outgrow that type of person or that mentor or that coach, and then you have to move on to another one, or you just you've absorbed so much as you can, you kind of have to take a break. But yeah, if you corner yourself as the authority, you learn from your patients or your clients, and then two, you're the person. So like it's not really a competition at that point. Depending on, and plus if you can do that now post COVID internationally at this point, like you can teach anyone anywhere how to do this. you'll need to be in person. So like that teach someone in California, that's not a competition for you.
Yeah, man, you bring up so many great points. I'm like, my mind was going a million different directions there because really, it's complicated, but it's not. I mean, you even said it. Hey, if you outgrew your mentor, find another mentor.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the smartest person in the room. You're just in the wrong rooms. So I just try to like, if there's someone who knows more than me, I just shut up. I ask 1 or 2 questions, but I don't look to take all of their time because that's what people do, right? It's like you have all the info. I want your info. I'm going to just keep you on the phone for an hour. Man, you're going to burn the person out. You know, don't do it. Just if you have a question or two, have them ready, ask them, and then keep it moving. But be respectful of someone's time, and especially of a mentor, you know, someone who's given of it for free. Man, please honor that, you know. And I think that's one thing. Shut up, listen. That's why you got one mouth and 2 ears.
Yeah,
Ears are more important.
I think when it comes to business, business and life in general, I think people make a tremendous mistake by spending their time around people who are not as successful as they are. And I know people that like to do that. They want to be around people who answer to them, who, put them on a pedestal.
Inflates their ego.
Yeah. If you want to be really successful, hang around people who are more successful than you are.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to learn more things. You're going to get better connections, more opportunities. You got more to learn.
Yeah,
I've even heard of some higher, like more successful people than us, or like different professions, different like completely different businesses, where they'll pay someone like $25,000 for like a 5-minute phone call to answer one question. But that amount of time for that person that was asking the question, the advice that person's getting back is probably worth, depending on the type of business, could be worth $1 million in revenue for that person. So like that's where you can like almost like with the coaching, you're almost like pay to play on those types of things. You're surrounding yourself with someone who's way smarter, way more successful than you. Their time that you're asking, the person you're asking, is a valuable time, and they've done all the work to kind of get to that point to where they can successfully answer that question for you. So I've seen people. I have not done that, but I've heard other people.
$25K to answer.
I've heard other people that have like, asked those questions.
I'll
I'm
answer
like,
questions. I may not be the right answer, but I'll answer.
Yeah, or like you go to like a weekend like coaching thing, and it'll be X amount of dollars, and like you better, you're sure as hell gonna apply what you learned that weekend.
I will tell you, and your wife and I have text back and forth about my disdain for somebody who's in the coaching field who brands herself as I don't even know what the brand is, but she puts herself out there as this highly successful person. There's all these Instagram photos, and I know where she lives. She lives about 100 yards from me, and that's not her house. it's all a facade.
No.
It's all a facade. She may be very successful with what she does. She may motivate people, and that in of itself may be worth everything. But it's so disingenuous to me, the way that it's done. And I'm not going to out her. No,
but I think that a little bit of that is my frustration. I think with the current market, there's so much noise out here.
Yep.
There's so much content that people are pushing.
It's easy to do it,
and there's no way to check.
Yeah.
There's no way to fact check it.
So like when it comes to the coaching thing, I think one of the critical things to finding your mentor, your coach, and so forth is referrals. Not just picking somebody off. Yeah, word of mouth. I mean, when you've got somebody else who has vetted the product or the person, and you know from personal experience, it's a much better bet than just simply seeing somebody's Instagram and being like, oh, they look really successful.
Yeah. I've learned plenty of times not to fall for the Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Or the Instagram ads.
Yeah.
The YouTube ads and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
I bought some useless stuff off of Facebook and TikTok. I'm not going to lie.
So those I got a Metallica style Bears sweatshirt one time. Like the picture on Facebook looked amazing. I got it. Like the orange was basically like red and the blue was basically purple. And I'm like, crap.
During the height of COVID, when
I
went on TikTok, the first thing I ever bought off of TikTok was they had this advertisement right around Christmas of a really cool Christmas tree, like outdoor light display, right? Like 10 feet tall. And, you anchor it to the ground. It looks like a tree. And it was like, I don't know, $20. I was like, yeah, I ordered it.
What a deal.
It was one strand of lights. It wasn't even a tree. It was a single strand of, like, what the? Come on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you couldn't return it probably.
I was from China. They weren't going to give me my money back.
They were like, keep it.
My dumbass did it, so I got what I deserved. Let's talk about your third business. And I got to see this one firsthand. I got invited to go on a special night with some friends and family. And I've never been to anything like this before. So I'm going to talk it up for a minute. Sea Love Candle Bar in Oak Park. And for really the whole Chicago metro area. If you haven't spent any time in downtown Oak Park, I hadn't been down there in a while. It's phenomenal how it's been revitalized. It's pretty impressive. And your store in of itself is probably one of the cleanest places I've ever been. And I don't want to say everything. I'm going to let you talk about it, but this is a unique kind of thing that I could very easily see someone taking their spouse to for an evening out. So tell us a little bit about Sea Love Candle Bar.
Yeah, so, Sea Love was something that a year ago, it's a franchise. So a year ago, we were in the one in Naperville. So we spent some time there as a family. We had a blast. We were laughing, joking with each other. It's just time to connect. Then my wife was like, oh, I wonder if they franchise. So she just reached out to them. She found out. And mind you, we've never jumped into this. The way I like to ride is without no brakes, right? So if she says, hey, let's do it, I'm like, man, let's go all in. Let's go for it. And so that was a year ago. And so literally a year later, now we're opened up in Oak Park. And it was a process, right? You have to kind of go through all the steps, get vetted, learn who the founders are, all of those pieces of franchise, which I think are interesting. A franchise contract, which is, man, if you're having trouble sleeping, read that. That will take care of it. It gets so thick. It's so wordy. It's cumbersome. It was a lot. But we found Oak Park. We looked at a whole bunch of different places. We looked at LaGrange. We looked at Hinsdale, all wonderful neighborhoods.
Was there like a radius that you could be in, like a non-compete with other stores?
Yeah, that was definitely the one with neighbors. So you couldn't be within their vicinity. So then we started looking at other areas and other neighborhoods. And then finally in Oak Park, my wife's seen it. I don't have the vision. Like she sees it and she can actually envision what it could look like. I seen it for what it was. I mean, it was like green carpet.
There's a hole in the wall at the time.
Paneling. And I'm like, and so she was like, I think we can do this. I said, well, yeah, let's go for it. So we utilized our other business to fund this business.
Oh, nice.
And it was a way, especially with like taxes, what are your strategies? It's fourth quarter, third quarter. We're meeting with our accountant. And I said, well, we're thinking about purchasing this candle bar. And he was like, this would be good for you. He said, because this year you guys are going to get hit pretty hard if you're not doing anything to offset the money. And so literally we started, so that business, Salinas, was the one that was funding it. And so we were just funding the money from there. And, Joe, you helped us out with all of the paperwork and those pieces. But then we got to open. We got to open in December. It was towards the weekend, the first weekend in December, we were open. And then it was like a roller coaster. I've never been in retail. I don't know what it is to be on my feet for 14, whatever hours we were up. I would get home at like 8 o'clock and I'm like, I don't even want to eat. I'm just going to go to bed. I'm tired. My feet hurt. Like, I don't want to talk about
6 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah. But it's a cool spot because it gives families a chance to connect. In the community, people have been able to come in and say, oh man, can I host a birthday party here? And because the bar is big and beautiful and it's a 20 seat bar, people come in all the time. And so now we're having birthday parties. We're hosting, wedding stuff. And so people are starting to come in. They're starting to see what we do. But I think it's important that, again, it all goes back to what I did in education, which is what? Just customer service.
Yeah.
Take care of your people.
Let's jump back into it here as we're talking about everything that you had to do. As you put this all together, what was the hardest piece for you to pull it all together?
To pull Sea Love all together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Because you did a build out, you were talking permits, talking architect, franchise agreement, capital, coming to agreements with your wife.
Yeah. No.
Tax savings.
Man.
Tax savings, accountants.
And my wife doesn't play. Yeah, she's no nonsense. So I would say the hardest thing is finding quality people to do the work. If you're looking at architects, if you're looking at lawyers, accountants, when you're thinking about a team, this is something I never thought about before. I was just like, hey, it's me. It's my family. Let's go. But now you have to be very thoughtful in the process. So even with quotes from architects, we got a quote that was $3,000. We had a quote that was $30,000.
Ooh, wow.
And I'm like, we're doing the same work, but you're talking about a $27,000 difference?
That's huge.
That, for me, was the biggest thing. When we got construction quotes, 40-something thousand, 80,000. Wait a minute. Like, how do you justify the difference in these prices and these price points?
Yeah.
See, if you ask me, Miguel, hey, I need this from you, what is it going to cost? I can tell you right here, this is what it's going to cost normally, right? Mm-hmm. But when you ask certain professionals, certain professions, I got to get back to you in a week. when I start hearing that, I'm like, well, what's the holdup? Like, you know in your mind what price you're going to charge generally. For me, I get leery. That's when I start raising red flags. You know, when you start saying, well, I have to get back to you.
So it sounds like the dealing with the contractors and trusting what they were quoting you, that was a huge piece that weighed heavily on you.
Yeah, definitely. And again, finding the right people, and I think vetting the people.
Did they give you good reasons for the massive differences?
No.
Yeah,
And nothing that I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
The architecture one, that I find that one to be very interesting because I've seen the space, and it is highly designed in part by the franchise agreement, right? Because you have things that you can and can't do, but you're not, and you're talking about a build out, but you're not talking about new construction. You're not talking about erecting. You didn't have to put any new walls in, did you?
No new walls.
No new walls.
No plumbing.
You're talking about maybe architectural designs for electrical and for cabinetry.
That's it.
And I'm assuming the franchise gave you like the materials, the color schemes.
Yeah, they guided you through the most of that process to say, hey, you know, this is what it's going to look like. This is what the stuff that you need to pick out. But even on that, there was certain people that we were referred to that you're like, I don't know. If you're investing a big amount of money or a large amount of money, you got to feel good about what you're investing in.
For sure.
All right, so now you've done it. You've opened the doors. You've gone through all the challenges. Tell us what it is.
So I would say Sea Love is an experience. Going to Sea Love is an experience to reconnect with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones, and it's giving you something that you can take with you, right? So sometimes you go somewhere, you do whatever you do, but then it's done, it's over with. But no, you have something personal that you can take, right? Something that you made, handcrafted, right? So if you're going to pick out you're going to make your own candle, you get to pick out the scents that you want in your candle. You get to pick out the vessels. You get to name it yourself. So this is very personalized to you, individualized. And a lot of experience don't really offer you that, right? So and we want to kind of be different. Again, within Oak Park, there's a lot of boutiques and those types of things. We're not trying to compete with them. We want to be able to do and just add and enhance what's going on in Oak Park and that downtown area.
So the way I would describe this is you go in and the bar itself, you're going to sit down at. They have everything organized for you. You don't have to know squat about how to make a candle because you're going to learn. One of the really cool things was all the different scents and is it oil? I forget. Was it oils or what?
Yeah, so they're fragrance oils infused with essential oils.
So there's an incredible number of them. And what's interesting about it is that when you mix them, it changes everything.
Yep.
So I don't know how many different combinations you could possibly have. I'm sure some mathematician could figure it out real quick.
Infinite at
but
this point. Yeah.
An insane different number of combinations. And there's some fun names too. Like there was one that I used that was called Man Cave. It doesn't smell like a man cave, by the way.
Not BO and poop.
Grass was
and
one.
Doritos, right?
Grass is pretty good.
Yeah. But
Fresh cut grass. Great.
Yeah, but it was fun, right? So you go there with a partner, and pretty soon you're going to have a liquor license that's coming.
Right, yeah.
So you'll have maybe a glass of wine or something.
A real bar.
Yeah. Yeah. So much like the Pinot's Palette places where you do the paint and sip, it's the same kind of basic idea.
Do you have it as like
right?
a BYOB right now?
So right now we don't because you have to apply for the license for a BYOB. But we have the company literally in this week, and they're installing the fire alarms because in order to get a liquor license, you would need a fire alarm, and so they're installing that right now. So hopefully by the end of this week, sometime they'll be done, and then we can go back to the village of Oak Park and be able to get that license.
Yeah.
Well, we already applied, and we were already approved. They just haven't been able to issue it until
that one step.
Step. Yeah,
That's easy. Okay.
So if you're looking for an interesting night out, something
Sounds
different, an activity, this is a great thing to do. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we got a Galentine's event and a Valentine's event that's coming up. So you can book. That's going to be the 13th and the 14th, I think, off the top of my head, which is a Friday and a Saturday. You can book the 5 o'clock time, 6 o'clock time, 7 o'clock time, and 8 o'clock time.
Oh, they're all hour-long experience.
That's it. Yep. And we're going to partner with, it's called We Time. So they're going to bring out the bar. You're going to have access to either 3 signature cocktail drinks or 2 mocktail drinks.
Nice.
And just for that, it's going to be $60. So you get a large vessel, make a candle, and you get access to 2 drinks of your choosing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very nice.
I got to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about how you're keeping it all together in the fitness end of things as you are running 3 companies, including the retail one now. How do you keep it all together for yourself?
Yeah, I try to keep it simple. So for me, to shadow box, I could do that in my garage, right? You get out there, you throw punches for a couple minutes, you'll start to sweat instantly. Now, if you're bouncing on your toes for a little bit, you start to feel it immediately. Try to keep your hands up for 3 minutes. Throw on boxing gloves and keep them up here.
Shoulders start cramping real quick.
Yeah, your shoulders start feeling it. So for me, I just
You've never done this before. You'll be sweating pretty quick.
Yeah, and then your hands are going to be down here. You're like, man, why can't I get my arms up anymore?
Why am I getting punched in the face?
Right.
The shadow's kicking my ass.
So for me, I just try to keep it simple. If it's something like that, I love to do shadow boxing. I love to hit the heavy bag. I got a heavy bag downstairs, 15 minutes on that, some shadow boxing, and some jump rope, and I'm good.
Nice.
I'm like, man, that's a quick way I can get that in 45 minutes, and I can go on my way. Because if not, then I'm not functioning. Like, I'm tired. I'm, not able to keep up and do the kind of the day-to-day stuff that you normally have to do.
For the jump rope, what's your favorite jump rope skip?
Man,
cadence.
Just keep it simple. I can't even get
just
complicated.
One hops?
Just one hops. Yeah.
No, like boxer shuffle?
No,
like
I got a torn ACL on
Still?
my left knee still.
How old is it?
I think I tore it when I was like 19.
Have you tested it since or gone on MRI since?
Mm-mm.
Sometimes they can like spontaneously reattach.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, I hope it spontaneously does. Maybe it did. I don't even know. But honestly,
the reason that they do it now, like would do the surgery, is because obviously you're an athlete, you want to get back as soon as possible. Like for like positive that is attached, right? But there are some instances of like that ACL will spontaneously come back together.
Really?
Yeah, like you don't.
Sounds like
surgery.
witchcraft, Mitch.
Sure, it's another Cairo dig. I get it. Whatever. I'm just an idiot.
I've never heard that before.
I'm a quack. I don't know anything
today. Well, I didn't say
never
you're a
helped
quack.
anyone.
That seems
Yeah.
excessive.
No, but now I'm going to go investigate because I'm kind of curious.
It's
like
an easy
maybe-
test to figure it out.
Yeah?
like, with just manual stuff. Yeah, it takes 2 seconds.
I'm literally I'm gonna ask Grok on the way back to the office because this is brand new. I had no idea. Blows my mind. That's awesome. Miguel, tell us if somebody wants to get a hold of you for any of the mini businesses you have or for Sea Love. How does somebody find you?
Yeah, I would say for Sea Love, the easiest way to find us is going to be at Sea Love Oak Park. That's going to find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. The website's going to be sealove.com/Oak Park. On that end, if you want to find us for coaching with, doing your own educational staffing company, that's going to be dynamiceducatorsfirst.com. If you want to find out about what we're doing in terms of just supporting school districts, that's going to be sesevaluations.com. And so those are all the different handles. You can find us out there. In terms of the other businesses, Sea Love has more going on in terms of like Facebook, Instagram. The other businesses, not necessarily do, but something that we're going to look to in the future.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Anything else you want to add for the benefit here of the podcast? We're going to last couple segments.
No. I would just say first appreciate you guys for having me here, being able to talk, and it was a nice way to connect with other dads. It's something that when I was going through it in my 20s, I was like, dang, I don't have anyone else I can connect with that was in my circle who was doing it like this. So to see you guys doing what you're doing, I just excited. Love the work.
Awesome. You got anything for Quill's Corner this week?
I'll say, ACLs can repair on their own. I'll check. Grok it. AI it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Miguel Salinas, for joining us here today. This was very enlightening. I love spending time with entrepreneurs who can't sit still, and you're one of those. And you got 2 grown kids and a wife who puts up with you. So
win-win.
A win-win. And you're bringing a little something to the rest of us dads that can get us out of the doghouse. I'm telling you, take your spouse to Sea Love.
I'm definitely checking out for a second.
It's completely worthwhile. Yeah. Entrepreneurship is not always about ego, my friends. It's about experience. You got to build something up. That's one of my takeaways here.
Yeah, I like to build up your kids for sure. Definitely start. I try to do that, but I'm definitely gonna make it more of a point with my kids.
I made some notes here about giving your kids an opportunity to grow. Maybe tell them once about the car battery and don't remind them again.
Yeah.
The wisdom. Focus on the positive you mentioned, and then one of the quotes that you said, and I don't think this is the original quote for you, but I always forget about this. You're not necessarily the smartest person in the room. You might be in the wrong room.
Yeah, definitely a big deal. I try and do that.
Yeah. So that, my friends, is this round of Dad's Deals and Dumbbells. If you learned something, if you laughed, or you now want to go make a candle,
you know where to go. Subscribe, leave a review, send this episode to another dad who's in need of a Valentine's Day date.
Absolutely. If you got a wild story, a question, guest idea, or maybe a questionable idea about something Mitch and I should go do soon. We're working on some more of those after last week's episode. Hit us up on Instagram or email us at dadsdealanddumbbells@gmail.com.
Go lift something heavy, tuck your kids in, and close that deal.